Treasury Metals Gold production from Ontario starting 2018. So Greg, welcome. Let's talk about your beautiful company, Treasury Metals. Where's the company about?
Well, thanks, Johan. It's a pleasure to be here and great to be back on Commodity TV and Dukascopy. As you're aware, Treasury is developing the Goliath Gold project in northwestern Ontario. We're a Toronto-based company listed on the TSX under the symbol TML, and our project it's a gold project at the mine permit feasibility stage.
Great. What are the major key points for the project like? I mean, it's very favorable, right?
Sure, of course. I've been involved with the business now for over 5 years, and this is the best I've ever felt about this opportunity from an investment standpoint. We're seeing improving financing and trading in our shares in the past several years. We have 2 rigs now back at the project. We've entered into a transition with our management team, moving from an exploration to a mine building development team, and there's been a number of appointments announced and to be announced. But during that period, we haven't lost the company's focus on developing this quality project in Ontario. It's got a great jurisdiction on the Trans-Canada Highway with excellent infrastructure and very attractive grades with a reasonable capital cost to build the mine.
Great, and as we see here, there's an outline of the open pit. I think it's quite impressive. So you will start with an open pit, right, and then you go underground?
That's correct. So the proposal for the company, what we're mine permitting, is to produce 80,000 ounces per year we're permitting for approximately a 2,500 ton per day mill. And then we transition around year 4 or 5 to the underground, and then the underground would continue for another 6 to 8 years in the underground, and there'd be a blend of the underground grade, which is higher grade with the open pit ore as well during that phase.
Fantastic. So before you come to the production, of course, you still have to do some work. I think you are completing now in November this phase 1 of the drilling. What was it about, and when can we expect some results?
Yeah, that's correct. So we basically had the first 10 to 12 years of the mine life drilled off primarily in the open pit, in the region just below the open pit. So now what we're doing now is we're drilling below the 400 meter level just to increase the mine life and to add additional ounces. So those results are going to start in the next few weeks, and we're looking forward to getting those to the market.
And you're already satisfied with what you saw so far?
Yeah, so far so good.
So far so good? Yeah, that's fantastic, great. But you're also starting a phase 2 then, I think it's in December, right? Because drilling in winter is much easier.
Yeah, of course. We are able to drill year round, but there are benefits of drilling in the winter. And once we finish the underground program, we're also going to step out and drill for additional ounces around the open pit, on the eastern edge of the open pit. And then the second point of the program is to drill, it's called condemnation drilling. So we're going to drill where the infrastructure is going to be, where the tailings, where the mine, the mill, and that are going to be, to make sure there's not mineralization there.
So all the work is really to bring the project into production, right?
That's correct.
Great. Yeah. You also did, I think that's very important, an engineering update on the feasibility. So what happened there?
Yeah, sure. We've done a number of economic studies and resources over the years, and now we're at the feasibility stage. We've been mine permitting the project for a few years, so the government's reviewed our EIS from a technical standpoint, and we've had our community meetings in Dryden, and now we're dealing with the questions from that technical review, and they're dealing with certain things like the more detailed feasibility level mine design, tailings, closure questions to the feasibility level. So that documentation will be back to the government hopefully by the end of this year, with an expectation of receiving the permit halfway through 2017. So as you can see, a lot of that feasibility level work is being done in terms of mine design, the resource work.
Fantastic. And well, you're on the timeline to production. So when can we expect you in production? And as we see here, a little bit schematic theme. What do you have to do next year, for example, in 2018 then? Sure,
yeah, it's a big year for the company. We're finishing up drilling in the underground, and then we're also going to be having those questions on the permitting back to the government by the end of this year. And if those are both successful, we would then initiate the full feasibility study, and then we would begin looking and able to close some of these financing discussions we're involved in, which would put the capital in place to build the initial open pit and mill that's required. So you'd be looking at production in 2018.
Oh wow, that's that far. How much money do you need to build the thing?
It's 100 million Canadian for the capital cost to build the initial open pit and the mill, and then the cash flow from the open pit would eventually fund the underground development. So we think that's achievable for a company of our size with this type of infrastructure on the Trans-Canada Highway in a great jurisdiction like Ontario, especially with the improving capital markets.
Great, fantastic. So we wish you all the best for that. Thank you very much for taking the time, Greg. And yeah, we look forward to hear more from you then.
Great, thank you, Johan.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Greg Ferron, the Vice President Corporate Development from Treasury Metals. Company is full on track to go in production in Ontario. Nice gold production, around 80,000 ounces per annum. $100 million cost. Of course, it's 100 million Canadian dollars cost. Absolutely manageable and financeable. I'm your host, Jochen Steiger, in partnership with Dukascopy TV. Thanks for watching us. Bye-bye from Geneva.